Hey, it's Kevin Dees, and we're backstage with one of my favorite people in rock music.
Aw,
favorite
man.
people in the entertainment business, Mark McGrath. Mark, I was down at the USC game right before this, and you know the kind of talent that's at a USC game. It's
Yes.
all over the place.
And on the field.
And on the field. It's not on the, it's definitely not on the
You
field.
know what I'm saying? No, it is that too, but believe me.
But I was just downstairs, and I'll tell you what, the talent downstairs, and you know what I'm talking about, it's better than it was at USC.
We've been fortunate, you know, especially the '90s during the heyday of Sugar Ray, man. It was like, wow, we was scary and a lot of fun. So, I mean, no one gets into music not to get chicks. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of part of it. I mean, not all of us are Eddie Vedder and like struggling. Some of us want to see chicks out there. So, hey, it's been a fun ride, and you know, they're getting a little older now, but so am I. So, if you put up with some veneers and Propecia, then you know, I'll put up with whatever you guys.
All about the Propecia, dude.
Yeah. It works, man.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you and I have a lot in common. We both grew up in SoCal.
Yep.
Both went to USC, and deep down inside, I'm a true metal fan, like
Yeah,
I know you are.
absolutely.
And you know, a lot of the early Sugar Ray stuff, it was a lot harder. I've always wanted to ask you, what are some of the bands that you were listening to that influenced that stuff?
You know, it's funny, we're here on the Sunset Strip right now, and I was a big fan of the Sunset Strip metal, like the Rats and Motley Crues of the world, and Faster Pussycats, LA Guns, and that like real sleaze metal.
LA Guns.
When we started in 1988, we wanted to be those bands. We wanted to be Faster Pussycat and LA Guns, and you know, we kind of turned the amps up on 10 and just kind of thrashed about, and you know, we learned a few chords here and there. We're like, wow, the Beatles are cool. They have minor chords. What the hell are those? And we kind of figured a few other things out and kind of graduated. But metal is true to my heart. It's what I love to do. And if I had my choice, my hair would be down to my ass, and I had leather straps.
Don't do that. No.
You know what? That's just night. That was just last night too. No, but I truly love metal. And like, there is that element of fun. I love the performance aspect of it. The guys were just having the time of their lives, and like that late '80s metal scene, I was a little bit on the tail end of it. Got to see a little bit of it. It was fun. I mean, you talk about chicks, dude. It was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
It was the last scene here on Sunset. There hasn't been a scene in a while. You know, you'd walk that, like, in the 60s, there were hippies walking up Laurel Canyon and all that. 70s kind of ushered in a little bit of a punk rock thing. And then the 80s, there was a metal scene. People passing out flyers, the rainbow. And what I miss most about music now are the scenes. There's no scenes anymore.
Right.
Remember Seattle had the grunge thing. And, like, because of technology and everything's so immediate, there's no scenes. There doesn't have to be anymore.
And there's so many great things about technology, but especially as it relates to the music business, technology sucks in a lot of ways.
It sucks if you weren't raised on technology, and I wasn't. You know what I mean? I kind of was the last guy not to have a computer in school and all that.
I didn't have internet in high school.
Oh, you did? Okay,
No.
well then you know what I'm talking about. We're kind of the tail end of that.
Right.
So there's a community now where their whole lives are just on the internet, and they don't know about like discovering things. Like it used to be hard to get stuff. And when I was younger, I wanted these creepers. You know what creepers are? Those sort of punk rock shoes. With thick, and you had to go like fly to London to get them, or like do your homework, and like now you can just get nothing's cool anymore because you can get anything.
Right.
So the internet's, you know, it's like you said, it's the greatest thing in the world, but the worst thing in the world simultaneously. So it's kind of a wash, you know.
Now, for the new record, Music for Cougars, which I love the title, it's so awesome. You guys collaborated with some really cool people on this, namely Rivers Cuomo.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
You know, someone told me that Rivers was a fan of the band, and like I didn't really believe it, you know, because he's such. We love Weezer, we love him forever.
Right.
We actually named a song called Rivers on the Scream 2 soundtrack back in 1997. So there's been a long love affair with him and the band in particular, and his songwriting. And I've heard like, oh, you know, Rivers actually likes your band. I'm like, ah, bullshit. So we went to make the record, and you know, our guy who owns the label knows his manager, and so listen, Rivers wants to like, you know, give you guys a track to play. And I go, you gotta be kidding me. And I'm like, there must be two things. A, he may be a fan. That's the long shot. The reality to me is that we're so uncool as a band that we're cool to him. You know, like the irony scale is so 360 in our favor for him, and he's so ahead of the game. Like, you know, on his last record, he's got a cowboy hat and a mustache, and there's no irony there. So I think we might fit in that irony, Silver Lake weirdness of his. And like, I'm glad to be a benefactor of that because we have a song written by Rivers Cuomo on our record. That's pretty powerful stuff, man.
That is so cool.
Isn't that funny, man?
That is so funny how things work out like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Hammer Pants and Sugar Ray. Anything lamer than the 90s, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. You know, speaking of the 90s, I mean, what's the difference between touring then versus touring now?
That's a good question. Well, besides there was more people back in the 90s. No, you know, it's the hysteria is gone now. It's sort of about the music now. I mean, back then we were on MTV all the time. You know, I was on the cover of Rolling Stone. All these incredible things happened to us, and there was sort of a hysteria of being a new group and sort of part of a new scene. That's, you know, now it's our fans here. The fans that have survived. They're older now. We've seen them for years. They have kids. They're bringing the kids to the show, and we have kids and babies and stuff like that. I mean, it used to be strippers and booze backstage, and now it's babies and formula. You know what I mean? And things have changed for us as well as the audience, and like I think growing up with the audience is pretty cool because those are the people going to be with you for a long time. And you know, we've been a band for 21 years and it's been the same guys. So if we can just continue to do this and still play music, do something you love, I mean that's pretty powerful, lucky stuff.
And it's about having fun when it really comes down to it. And you guys are obviously having a lot of fun.
That's why we started 21 years ago. There was no sort of let's make a record, let's get a record deal. We didn't want to write songs. We said let's play some Judas Priest, Motorhead, and Blondie songs around a keg loud. You know, all the thing we do now is we play our songs around a keg loud now. That's the only difference. But that ethic, let's have some fun, is the thing that keeps us together. Because listen, this ain't Blink-182 or a No Doubt reunion. No one's making millions of dollars and getting rich with us. You truly have to like each other and love playing music, and that's why we're here.
Now, I do want to touch a little bit on this new VH1 show that you're doing. You know, Scott Baio did it. You got a lot to live up to, Mark. I mean,
you know, I'm telling you, dude, he set the bar real high. I mean, the funny thing about with Scott Baio on the show is like, this is a real life show. I mean, these reality shows are happening now. The I Love Money's, the you know, the sort of game shows, but this is like a real peek into my life, and so much so that I'm like, do I want to live my life in front of VH1? I actually thought about that, because these are going to be world events, life events, like do I or do I want to get married? And I've had a girl on and off for 15 years, I'm 41, do we want to have kids? All these things are coming into play. You know, so I was looking at it and I'm like, well, Scorsese, Bruckheimer, and McCartney aren't calling, so I might as well go out to Pastor and VH1 and see what happens. So we start filming it soon, we'll see what happens, we'll keep our fingers crossed, and I mean, we've already been through so much stuff. I don't think the reality curse really is going to apply to us. You know what I mean? So who knows? We'll see what happens.
Do you kind of forget the cameras are even there after a little while?
Yeah, you do. At first, you know, for the first minute, you're like, I can't do this. And then something will set you off. You're like, at first, you're like, hey, baby, how are you? Like bad acting, you know? Then you know, someone will do something like, Kevin, pick that up, dude. You go, I don't want to pick it up. And all of a sudden, your real emotions, you forget immediately, and then they go away. But I was really conscious of it first, for a second. And, you know, so was she, because she never really did much in front of the cameras before. But then, like, she yelled at me about something, and she got really pissed. I'm like, I go, are you serious?
And the editor's like, yes.
Yeah, there was a rap, and then you tap into it real quickly, believe me, you know what I mean? But it's fun, we'll see. It comes out in March of 2010. It's, you know, will I or will I not?
Right around your birthday.
Yeah, March 15th.
Yeah, my dad's is the 14th.
That's right, man. That's right, man. Great minds, great Pisces, you know?
There you go. Well, Mark, I know you got to get to the show. I really appreciate you sitting down, man. It's always good to see you, man.
You too, man. And good luck, man. You know, it's a good kid, people. You know what I mean? I knew when he was younger, and I knew he was going big places, and I can't wait to see what the future holds.
There you go.
For Mr. Kevin Dees.